All right, hello again, and welcome to the video. My name is Wade Smith, and I am a third degree brown belt in Isshinryu karate. This video is going to be about Naihanchi Kata and Bunkai. And Naihanchi Kata is not that complicated. There's only a couple main sequences, and they're repeated to either side. So it's like once you learn one side, the opposite side is pretty much identical. Um, but it's also, I think, the only kata that moves only in only side to side, and whereas Sanchin is the only kata that moves only front to back, and then Sunsu is the only kata that moves only diagonally, if I'm remembering correctly. So, but when you go to like a master or grandmaster seminar, there's always somebody, even a junior or mid-level black belt, who wants to see the latest version of the dark green belt kata, Naihanchi kata, Bunkai, because it's controversial. The kata is one of the oldest known katas in all of martial arts. Nobody's entirely sure who invented the thing, and we're not even entirely sure why it was invented, which is why there's always a different interpretation of what the bunkai means or might mean. We're not even sure where you're supposedly fighting what entirely. Some people think that these leg checks are potentially you stepping over rows of cornfield rows for crops. You're actually fighting in the middle of a cornfield or a rice field. All right. Some people think that some people, I don't know, something just moved in the shadows. Some people think that it moves side to side because you're fighting with your back against the wall, which might be more applicable to most people who are not farmers or might not be familiar with what I'm talking about, stepping over the rows of crops in a field. But at any rate, whatever the original intention of the kata, it starts at with feet together, and then you I got to think. I don't even remember which foot steps out first, right off the top of my head. But anyway, you end up in a Naihanchi stance, which is feet slightly more than shoulder width apart. Let me get it about right. That's about right, and slightly inward. And Naihanchi just means horse stance, if I remember correctly. All right, so some of the typical maneuvers in Naihanchi, we have leg checks to avoid the sweep, and this leg check can become a cross heel stomp kick in that direction. So it can be a leg check to avoid a sweep coming from that direction, or it can be a cross heel stomp kick to hit a person that's in that direction or directly in front of you. All right. So that's where you got two or three different interpretations of what even that first leg movement is. Um, and all of them might be correct for all I know. And then you've got this block. I can be blocking somebody in front of me and blocking all the way, or I could be blocking somebody over here. Um, and then you've got this grappling at the back of the head or neck and pulling them into a clinch and into a clenched elbow, which this is one of the strongest, if not the strongest, upper body technique in all of Isshinryu. It hits with nearly 2,000 pounds of force for a heavyweight. All right, it's absolutely bone shattering. Um, then we've got, I think, back fist or hammer fist and reinforced 6 to 12 elbow strike. All right, so that target there is typically going to be under the chin. When they're too close in for an uppercut to be practical, you can elbow strike. Okay, um, because typically for an Isshinryu uppercut to get the most force, you're going to reset to the hip and then you're going to throw to the chin. Okay, but not always would you get an uppercut, a full rotation on an uppercut. If your fist is here, you're never going to get a knockout power from there. But look where your elbow is; it can develop knockout power from there, or at least stunning power from there. All right, so it's all about the range of motion to develop max acceleration. If I can throw this 6 to 12 elbow with at least stunning power there, look where my standing guard is. I never had to drop my standing guard to get in a strike to a face, and so then I'm less vulnerable. All right, so that's where that 6 to 12 elbow strike in Naihanchi could be useful in a clinch, since the style of Naihanchi already has a few clinch movements in it otherwise anyway. Um, While there are, I mean, I've seen so many interpretations just in the years that I was with Sensei Mark Myers, Master Sensei Mark Myers, and then whenever we went to like an Advincula seminar or any of the other fifth, sixth, and seventh degree black belt seminars, every seminar somebody asked to see a new version of Naihanchi Bunkai. And then I've also seen Michael Calandra's Naihanchi Bunkai. So it's just a very deep wealth of knowledge there on that style. It's perhaps the most controversial kata, but it's also the most well studied kata. So any interpretation that makes sense is worth learning. Put it that way. Uh, and I do encourage the viewer, if anybody watches this, I do encourage you to look into Grandmaster Sensei Michael Calandra's videos of all of the kata. And anybody that tells you that Isshinryu is not for street self defense, one of the stated purposes is for street self defense by Tatsu Shimabuku's grandson, who is the current leading reigning grandmaster in Isshinryu karate. So, yes, it is designed specifically for street fighting for your own protection. So anybody who says otherwise doesn't know what they're talking about. Um, but anyway, watch Grandmaster Sensei Michael Calandra's videos. Watch Grandmaster Sensei Arsenio James Advincula's videos, and you will learn an awful lot of Bunkai, especially about Naihanchi, but all of the other katas as well. And uh, trying to think. Uh, So this block here can be done in the front and can equally be done to grapple and grab their head and smash. All right. So that's just, so it's there. It's very practical and it's very brutal and it's very simple to teach and learn. All right. So I think I've covered everything that I want to talk about, and then uh, so I am referencing the masters and grandmasters, and so you should look into their videos. They do know what they're doing. They've studied this for decades. All right, so thank you very much, and have a good day.